Peace, peace, peace. It's the Hood Mystic, your daily astrologer, aspectarian, just regular guy speaking about this astrology. We do this every day, daily energy reading for September 6th. September is definitely moving along fast. Definitely want to talk about this energy, talk about today. Hopefully I'm coming across clear. Think I figured out the problem while I was having like a double voice. My camera mic was on as well, and so it was giving double feedback, so I eliminated that. Hopefully it's not two of me coming across. If anybody can hear me, let me know that I'm coming across clear. But other than that, peace, peace, peace. Other than that, everything is peace. We representing www.hoodmystic.com, doing this for the Patreon gang, patreon.com/TheHoodMystics. After I get off alive, I'm gonna look at the September monthly, see if I missed anybody, finish those up as soon as I get off that live, so be patient for that. Hopefully that everybody's enjoying their monthly reading. Put a lot of work, put a lot of effort into that. So if you're not on board with the Patreon family, for $1 a month you can get monthly readings from the Hood Mystic, and they from the heart. You understand, it's not just some copy paste stuff. I'm just really intuitivizing what's going on with you and trying to give you some insight. So feel that's the least I can do for the family. Just want to really touch on this astrology, touch on this idea that the brain, peace, the brain is not the soul. A lot of us get caught up in our brains, and then we get our spirituality, and then we store it in our brains, and we're not fully into our spiritual technology that's fully involved in our whole entire body. We have a whole entire body that we can utilize and function as a brain, so to speak. And so this is what we're going to try to elaborate or bring to light in this video. And I'm bringing this to light based upon astrology, but I don't have my chart. So if y'all just give me one moment to bring this to, you know, if it ain't one thing, it's another thing, but at least the sound is good, so we don't gotta necessarily worry about that. And I can get this chart up here in 0.5 seconds. So, but I hope everybody is doing peace, everything is good, everything is lovely with you. Oops, see, that quick. Won't he do it? Won't he do it? Won't he do it? So the chart. Today is Jupiter day. Today is Thursday, so we're going to be focusing on Jupiter and how we can really utilize this energy. So I'm gonna make it really plain for you. Jupiter is trine Neptune, sextile Pluto, and sextile the Sun. So trine Neptune we talked about, and this clarity, greetings, peace, peace, and this clarity that we're establishing. And so when you establish this clarity, we're not trying to just use keywords to like pump you up like, ooh, I got clarity, yes. No. We want to deal with clarity in the sense that it puts you in a mindset that you do things differently. If you aren't clear, then you're doing the time loop thing. You're doing this back and forth thing, going over and over the same thing over and over again. And this is what's frustrating you. This is what's holding you down. And if you can't get out those time loops, it's because you haven't got to the core issue. And a lot of times, to be honest, you can't even figure out what that core issue is because it's been so long, and you done compile all types of stuff. So imagine us trying to find a needle in a haystack or a needle in a landfill. It's damn near impossible. So the whole thing, the whole idea is to go to a completely new location, develop whole new memories for ourselves, and that's utilizing this Jupiterian energy. And Jupiter in esoteric astrology is your hippocampus. And if you know about your hippocampus is all about your memories. So you have different vibrations, different flavors of memories. You got memories of what you did yesterday. You got memories of what you did a year ago. You got memories of what you had as a child. But since we're talking about esotericism, since we're talking about spirituality, it's good to connect with those spiritual memories. And you cannot connect to those spiritual memories by being connected to the terrestrial life. So any type of nostalgia, any type of good feelings, or any type of good memories, those have to be eviscerated so you can get to the real truth, and that's the spiritual purpose, and that's your spiritual goal. Trying to create an ideal is great, and it might have you in a position where you are better than people, and people look up to you like, man, you are awesome. But spiritually, it's not going to do shit for you. So it's important that you really understand what you are into, what you want to get into, what you know. And it's not based upon your terrestrial life. It's based on a deeper, meditative, spiritual place of clarity, getting out of a time loop, doing different things, having different experiences. And once you start to do this, you take over your life. Because what's taking over your life at this point is the loops. You constantly doing the same thing over and over again. That has taken over your life, and the idea of doing something different scared you. It frightened you. And so, just to be clear, it's not just a catchword. It's not just something that we just say that, you know. But my thing is, if you weren't conscious, you're getting into the knowledge and you're trying to know self, then it can't be out of shit that you've already done, because if that was the stuff that was going to get you to know self, then it would have done it. So it has to be something new. It has to be something fresh. And when you speak about Jupiter and all of the good things in life, the good things in life are the new things regardless. Like, you know, a new relationship and a new financial situation. Just, you want to meet somebody new today, right? You want to meet somebody that you haven't met before, that kind of speaks to your Jupiter, speaks to your expansion, speaks to your light. But are you aware of your light first and foremost? And so spiritual stuff, spiritual people, we got to begin to do spiritual things. And so real quick, the moon is, you know, stirring a pot, creating some tension in our personal lives, and it's very complex, because you have a grand cross where you have 4 planets involved, and 6 aspects and 4 planets, and they all are symmetrical, all are kind of putting you in a box. So to me, this clearly shows up as, are you clear on your relationships today? Just because the moon is here, the moon is conjunct your north node. So this is more or less a phase, right? Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Being trapped in your brain, thinking about stuff that you have no real solution for, and you're not even able to tap into something to give you a solution, thinking that the solution is in you thinking about it. And I'm gonna just give you a very, very simple solution. That's what we do on this channel. We give you simple solutions for complex problems. And the problem is not the solution. The problem is you thinking that this solution has to be as complex as your problem, when ultimately it doesn't. We live in a binary world. There's only zeros and ones. So you simply understand that your soul, your solutions, and everything that you can figure out in your life does not come from you thinking about this shit. You have to very much get into the pit of your stomach. Your consciousness has to then travel. See, consciousness doesn't have to just reside in the brain. So many times, to get over shit, I've taken my consciousness out of my brain and into my heart. And then I've just thought from my heart. If I really want to get deep, if I really want to find answers, I take my consciousness and I take it from my heart and I bring it to the pit of my stomach. I get to the most centerest point of my being, the point that is covered up with so much shit, so much bile, so much intestines that you couldn't even see it. You couldn't even find it on the x-ray. That's where I bring my conscience in, to the pit of my stomach. Because if you do the knowledge, if you do the understanding, this is where your soul resides. This is where your subconscious mind resides. Like, you could get, if you get something happens to your stomach, like you get shot or stabbed, you might as well stick a fork in you. Because once something happens down here, this is where you think at. You know, like, forget the dumb stuff. Every day y'all be trying to figure out what you want to eat, period. It don't even matter. And y'all be having food in the refrigerator, money in your pocket. Still, what the hell is we going to eat today? So it ain't about, you know, what you thinking about. It's all about doing the clear work. And since we getting real close to this new moon, I really want to stress clearing and cleansing with water and getting whatever is blocking the soul up out of there, whether it be enema bags, whether it be water fast. Like, you don't want to just do this shit for nothing. You want to actually have a purpose for what you're doing when you're cleansing. I want to cleanse so I can get more in tune with my soul. I don't want to eat meat because I realize that the meat being stuck in my intestines for all this time, you know, is blocking my soul. And so the more that I cleanse, the more that I don't eat meat, and I'm not bigging up vegetarian, I'm just telling you the purpose of why I do things. Now, everybody has purposes for why they do shit, you know, but if you're just doing it because the next person doing it and you don't realize why you doing some shit, then you is a crash dummy. And so ultimately, when you get into the brain and you don't have this clarity and you focused on what you're thinking about, what that is an ego trap. And that ego trap is multi-layered and multifaceted, so you don't never get nowhere. That ego trap is everywhere. Whenever you're thinking, and it's very subtle, because I started off this piece with the Grand Cross where I talked about relationships. And fear in your relationships is the number one. That's what's keeping y'all together, is fear of losing one another, as opposed to loving each other freely and openly and not putting different stipulations on that relationship. Now, this is a difficult thing to understand, that your relationship will go through trying phases and trying things, and if you didn't start with love, then those trying phases and the tests and when you have to walk up one step to the next step to the other step, because imagine, right, we walking up steps, when we get to the 15th floor, we might be a little goddamn tired because we've been ascending in this relationship for this time. So let's take a break for a second. Not take a break, but take a break because maybe our legs are a little tired. See where we're going. Understand that it's okay for us to take a break, not in space and time, but just in realizing that we have been ascending together in this relationship, in this space and time, and we have been ascending. If you have been ascending, then that's energy being spent. There's times that you need to sit back and recuperate. When you are spiritually attaining and you are connecting with people, there comes times where you just have to, like last night, I did a reading and I was dog ass tired. But I felt good because I had given so much of my energy for a good cause that, you know, I'm down for that draining, because when I go to sleep and wake up, I'm back at full energy level, you know, with a reserve pack. So it ain't really shit to me. I'm down for the draining, but you have to also know how to replenish yourself too. And so this Grand Cross is really a phase, because the Grand Cross is not really a typical Grand Cross, because it has the moon, meaning that 3 days from now, you ain't even gonna be feeling none of this shit. And that's just how the moon constantly plays tricks on us in astrology, where we could be in different vibes, different situations, and then that whole vibe go, and you be like, damn, what happened to that vibe? It's just the moon. And if you don't be in tune with the moon, this is why we do this daily astrology every day, so mainly we can see what the fuck the moon is stirring up. You understand? Like, what is you on? And so really what it's on today is getting you out of fear, seeing if you can recuperate, and recuperating is more or less speaking to that fear, saying, you know, being open and honest with the people that you truly love. And we'll talk about that when we get to the card of the day. And so, do I want to talk about anything else astrologically? Oh yeah, I do actually. Mercury, if we can look at Mercury entering into his exalted home of Virgo, well, his co-exalted, Mercury rules Virgo and Gemini, co-ruler. So Mercury being in Virgo is establishing a grand trine with Uranus and Saturn, and my wife was telling me exactly what was happening with this energy, where we, like, I was telling her how the previous 2 weeks I had to be somewhere at a certain time, and I was always pressed for time. And now today, I don't really necessarily have to be somewhere at a particular time, even though I got shit to do. There's no pressure. She was like, you know, when you have a sense of time, then you pay attention to the time. But if you have no sense of time, then you don't pay attention to it. You focus on the work, you focus on the quality of your product. And so I feel like today, wow, I feel like today I'm very much, I'm a better person. I'm much more in tune with the message. The message is coming across clearly because I'm not concerned about what I have to do post this video. I can focus completely on this video, and I say that simply to say, if you have a project, if you have a task, if you have something to do, completely focus on it. Don't worry about what's going to happen after it. Don't worry about what happened before it. Completely focus on it, because Mercury, which is, you know, some powerful stuff, is pulling on even more powerful energy. It's pulling on his daddy energy, and it's pulling on his uncle's energy. And you know how when your daddy and your uncle get together, y'all be having a good ass time. I don't know nobody yet who kicked it with their daddy and their uncle and had a bad time. So really take this information in consideration. Is like, you know, you gonna hang out with the big boys today. If you able to focus on something, if you able to deal with something. And another thing, I had this happen to me in a dream where somebody was, I don't know, people be breaking shit down to me in my dreams sometimes, and I be just sharing that shit with y'all, where somebody was breaking down spiritual people versus people who aren't spiritual and how they look at the world. And they used the analogy of cars, where spiritual people, you might say to a spiritual person, hey man, your car broke down, and the spiritual person is going to be like, okay, what's wrong with the radiator? The carburetor needs fixed. Oh, your steering column is messed up, let's align your steering column. Oh, you need a wheel alignment, that's your problem. But a person who's not spiritual, you tell them that their car broke down, and they be like, well shit, I just bought some rims, I just painted it, I just got my interior done, shouldn't nothing be wrong with my car? But bro, I'm telling you that your car is not running. And then the person that's not spiritual, they gonna look at you like, bro, I'm telling you, I just got finished painting it, I just got some brand new rims on it, there is nothing wrong with my car. And so use that analogy with human people as you deal with this energy today. This is like, so person say, you know, what's wrong? I'm not feeling well, and da 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 da. You be like, well, maybe you need to do some inner work. You know, what the fuck is inner work? I just need some money because I'm about to get kicked out of my apartment. Like, you gotta understand, right? There's deeper shit going on with people, but we as the spiritual people, we have to begin to look at the shit like that. We can't be looking at the shit like everybody else looking. Like, just because they got some rims, just because they look good, don't mean that they carburetor ain't fucked up. Don't mean that they suspension and their shocks is all out of whack. You understand what I'm saying? So dealing with that deeper shit is how you get to moving, how you get to going, how you get to go on your purpose. You might be stuck on the side of the road and just thinking that you need a paint job. No, you do not need a paint job. You don't need a paint job. You need to get under the hood. And so this is what we do every day. We pop open the hood and we look at what's happening in our car systems. And I apologize for these past couple of days with these sounds. And what I will do, what I have been thinking about going live this Saturday and just recapping, you know, the sound quality, it really matters to me. So I felt all different types of ways when the sound, I thought the Illuminati was after me. I didn't know what was going on, but you got to understand that this information, it needs to be out. And so sometimes I could have been the one that was sacrificing myself. You understand what I'm saying? So you always got to realize where you making a mistake at before you start to think that somebody got it out for you, because 9 times out of 10 you got it out for yourself all the time. 10 times out of 10, period. Like, when things go wrong, you done made a mistake and you need to figure out where you made that mistake at. And so this is what we're dealing with. I just want y'all to know that my deck really fucks with me. Like, my deck fucks with me. You understand? Because I need my card of the days to translate what I'm talking about in the astrology. And that's what these shuffles be about. I'm not that smart to think of how to come up with this spread to align with the astrology. So I have to begin to trust my deck. And I do trust my deck, and my deck trusts me because it's always revealing the message. And so it's easy for me to translate it. It's easy for me to bring it forth. So the 8 of Swords, the Prince of Cups, and the 9 of Cups is this interference, this disconnection with source, and you're not following what you want. You're just so hurt that you just want to dead that pain. That's all you want. But you have to understand, in each moment you have the ability to trust your feelings and follow where your feelings are going to lead you. And if you follow your feelings, then by default it will lead you in places where you have to face your fear. Let me say that one more time, because that can go over people's heads. If you trust your feelings, it's going to lead you to places where you have to address fear. But you want to be happy, and you want to be complete, and you want to be whole, but you don't want to address the fear. This upper row is explaining this process to happiness. Trust yourself. It's gonna guide you to somewhere that's gonna make you feel like, I don't want to be here, I just want to go home. But you're supposed to go into that. You're supposed to dive deep into I don't want to be here. And so you mentioned Pluto, that transformation, that lower tier. You couldn't make it no simpler. We talking about your brain is not your soul. Kill that. Kill this thought. These thoughts that you value so much are worthless. You have a whole heart that you can radiate from. You have a whole soul that you can radiate from. Your baby that you get pregnant with don't be in your brain. It don't get no nutrients for your goddamn brain. It be in your stomach where your soul is at. Cause that's where the juice is at. That's where the magic is at. And so you're not gonna hear this. You're not gonna hear this. You always gonna hear follow your brain. You sometimes might hear even follow your heart. But you will hear follow your gut. Trust your gut instinct. You will hear that too. Because you think that these people gonna say this shit for no reason? You think that this stuff exists in the world? All of this science, all of this anatomy, all of this shit for no reason? You think that you getting money is going to override your spiritual technology? Listen, man, I'm empowering people that ain't got shit. And I'm empowering people who got millions of dollars. Millions of dollars. I tell them my astrology price and they laugh at me. So this is the world that we living in. Your spiritual technology is completely different from the terrestrial life. And this is my conversation. That's why I'm so different. That's why I'm so weird. Because I'm talking about something outside of everything that you've been programmed into believing. And I'm not pulling it from sources outside of your own scholastic realizations of who you are internally. So becoming the fool is critical to spiritual attainment. The reality is you don't fucking know what your soul wants for you. So if you have an intention, I want to do this, I want to be this, I want to go here, then you're dealing with the brain, you're dealing with an ego trap, and you ain't gonna do shit. And even if you do shit, you ain't taking us with you. So what you doing? You just trying to stunt on us. You just trying to make people feel bad, and you in the lows of the lows. You ain't even there yet. So your whole intention is to show motherfuckers up, to say, look at me, I did something good. And trust me, when you do something good, ain't nobody going to give a damn. You should have been caring about yourself from the beginning. You should have been putting yourself in situations that you was going to be happy with. Relationships, being with people that you truly want to be with, as opposed to, oh, he in a relationship, she in a relationship, you know, and all of this type of weird stuff that people do, where we can't even be friends with people because they in relationships with other people. But we have Jupiters aligning, we have purposes together. We supposed to work together, but I can't really fuck with him because he in a relationship. But we ain't even talking about nothing. We talking about doing this business together. What the hell do somebody relationship got to do with purpose? So we got to always remember who we are, what we're trying to do in all spaces, in all times. Then you can show up in any situation. I don't care if you married. I ain't here for that. I'm here so we can work on this content. Tell your boyfriend to go sit down somewhere. I ain't even on that. So it's just important that we begin to connect with people in truth. But we can't connect to people in truth if we don't connect to ourselves, if we don't have no purpose. If you don't have no purpose and somebody come at you like, why the hell you talking to my man? Well, this is our itinerary, man. We were going to discuss point A, point B, point C, point D, and if we had time for E, we was going to get to E, but we only had an hour appointment, ma'am. Does that answer your question? Okay. See, but if you ain't got no purpose and shorty blow down on you, you be like, because you had bad intentions too. So understanding your purpose with people will eliminate all types of drama, trouble, all of that. Hope that resonated. Hope that made sense. But let me just talk about this three of this one more time. Spiritual foundations, Mars and Capricorn, because Mars goes into Aquarius where that foundation might just, like, everything you've been working towards, it's like an analogy is like riding on training wheels, and then that first time that your daddy take the training wheels off, and now you have to ride without the training wheels. Of course you're gonna be scared. That first couple times, you might fall a couple times, but eventually everybody here on this conversation, on this live, drives a bike with 2 wheels. So it can be done. Mars can function well in Aquarius, but you have to rely on your spiritual foundation. What happens when you learn to ride a bike on training wheels, you just simply learn the mechanics. Therefore, once you learn how to drive a bike with 2 wheels, no matter how long you go without driving a bike, you'll always remember how to ride a bike. I'm not making that up. They say that shit all the time. You never forget how to ride a bike. And so if you can build a spiritual foundation, if you can build a spiritual identity, a spiritual practice, as Mars goes into Aquarius, if you fall a couple times, it don't matter. If you have that spiritual foundation, you'll be okay. And so that spiritual foundation was everything that we were discussing as far as getting out of this time loop and really focusing on your energy, and not, you know, making massa proud or making daddy proud or making mama proud or making your kids proud or making your husband proud, making your wife proud. Like, make your damn self proud. You get out of that time loop. So I mentioned that the deck is hot. www.hoodmystic.com/spiritual-services has a list of my prices. Some things have changed. The astrology reading is what it is, but that don't mean that's the only astrology reading that you can get. I'm still doing astrology readings, but when it comes to me typing out a document and all of that, that's gonna be what it is. But if you still want an astrology reading, you could get astrology reading for $10 if you want to, if that's all you got. Whatever is in your budget, just look down, see what's in your budget, email me, let me know your budget, and we could do an astrology reading. I'm just not about to be typing no 10-page document for you. If you want a 10-page document, you're gonna have to pay for it, because everybody who has a document, that document is theirs and it's from me. It is original, and I don't necessarily think that people are giving printouts with their astrology readings. I don't necessarily know if I'm the only one, but I've never heard of that, and so it's special. Let me tell you more about me so you can understand my reading style. I'm a Sun in Virgo, and I'm a Moon in Cancer, and I'm a Libra rising. So my Sun in Virgo is very, like, it's me typing out everything, so I can let my Moon in Cancer just shine through the reading. So my Moon in Cancer is very intuitive, very empathic. It can really fill out of situations. Generally, when I do an astrology reading for a person, that person's being incorporates my dreams and my daily life. I tend to take on that person's experiences for that day, and I'm easily able to channel that information to the person that I'm doing the reading for. This has happened time after time after time after time. So generally, this is what the astrology reading entails. But if you ain't ready for all that and you just probably want to discuss your chart, I can talk about your chart with you all day, you know. So, and it could be within your budget. So I'm doing 2 things for 2 different types of customers, and I hope that people understand. Just wanted to be clear on that and be clear with the message. I hope that this made some sense. I hope that it resonated with people. I hope that it was clear. I hope that the sound was good. I hope that the presentation was on point, because I really care about this shit. You know, I really care about my work, and the fact that the sound was off, that shit broke me down to tears. I was crying. I wasn't crying, but I was very hurt. But, you know, I hope that this message resonated with the people, and that was ultimately my message. Milkweed, we've been conversating on the Gmail. She was telling me her situation bits and pieces or whatever, and she was just saying how she couldn't necessarily get with the prices of the reading. So I was just like, you know, I'll read you for free online if you want to. So that's something that we probably gonna do. I still need to get her chart. I still haven't had a chance to study her chart, so I'm gonna probably study your chart today, Milkweed, and Friday or Saturday when we have time, maybe we could do something like a conversation where we can just put it out to the people or something, but maybe we'll just talk in private, because I feel like you got some serious stuff going on. And so I say that to say that it's not like I'll do this for everybody, but it's not necessarily, if you don't have the money for a reading, then say that, you know, that'll get you further than, you know, looking on my page, oh, his prices is too high, I ain't messing with him, or some shit, where it's just like, just keep it real with me and we can talk about it, you understand? And I'm not saying that I'll do that for everybody, but, you know, I'm not here necessarily to get rich off of consciousness. I'm here because I value my time. I'm here because I value my energy, and that's all that this is for. Generally, if I don't charge, then people just simply would just inundate me with their problems and I don't really have that to do, because I have a wife, I have a family, I have a job, I have a career that I'm pursuing, and I just got a gym membership yesterday, so I'm gonna include that into the routine. So it is what it is. We all here just trying to live our best lives, and so if anything that I can do to help you live your best life, please let me know. Everything's available at www.hoodmystic.com. I hope this message resonated, and I hope this message was clear, and guaranteed we'll be back tomorrow to do this same thing. So y'all have a wonderful day. Hit me up at hoodmystic@gmail.com if there's any questions, comments, or concerns.